Hey everyone, welcome back to another market opening live stream. We've got crypto that is kicking butt. And I want to start by talking about crypto because we had a little bit of dip over the weekend and it is now kicking butt again. We've got a Bitcoin over 50,200. We are definitely on a nice crypto cycle here. Let's go ahead and zoom out to the 1 day chart. I know it looks busy with all the lines here, but just take a look at this. We had our painful sort of head and shoulders over here. We had our extended decline. We had that for a while, but we've been on a very steep uptrend here in really since about the end of July, and it almost seems like it kind of came with Delta, which is really odd because we've had our last crypto run that really came kind of with our COVID winter almost, but almost also with our vaccine recovery. So I don't know if you could directly correlate it with COVID, especially things since well, but then again, as we really felt like, oh, we're reopening again, did we have sort of a slowdown here? Who knows if you could really correlate it with that? But either way, we've got a pretty nice run here. We went as high as 50,527, and as usual, when you see crypto move up, especially since Bitcoin has virtually almost doubled from its lows of somewhere around 28,900. Within the last couple months, you're clearly seeing certainly a doubling in some of these companies. Like Hut 8 Mining was sitting at like $3.20. Now it's just a little bit more than double that, which makes sense. The miners carry a lot of crypto, and so we get a lot of movement in these crypto related stocks after Bitcoin runs. So some incredible movements here. See very much the same pattern here at Marathon Digital, for example, as you did with the Bitcoin chart. You would see the same at virtually all of them, with the exception of Hut 8 Mining. A little bit more of a euphoric run there at one point. So you get a little bit of this outlier of a peak here. This is more, in my opinion, kind of penny stock euphoria right here. But otherwise, we follow pretty much a similar path. It's not a surprise to see the crypto companies move like this. Pre-market, most of these up 4 to 6%. You've actually got Robinhood coming back 3.45. Coinbase. Oh man, yeah, Coinbase generally and frequently only moving about a fraction, along with crypto prices moving, and that's really because Coinbase is moving much more because of transaction revenue rather than underlying crypto value, like some of the crypto miners. A lot of the crypto miners are just so heavily invested in Bitcoin itself. When Bitcoin goes up, they just are literally worth that much more now because they hold so much crypto. That is not as true at a company like Coinbase, although when the pricing does go up, we do see transaction revenue tend to go up with it. So then we actually have Redfin coming back a little bit here. Redfin near virtually a bottom, I'd like to say, of what we've seen recently here. We've got a 3.57% gain that we've had on Friday. On Friday, and then we're at 2.56 right now. We're about to be back over 50 here on a Redfin, which does sort of beg the question: did we hit a bottom? Was this 44.4 here a bottom for Redfin? Are we running back to 50 and then moving up? Remember, right now we are sitting right around that May 12th pricing for Redfin, so it does feel like we hit a pretty low level there. Makes you wonder if this is a rotation. Is it that buy the dip opportunity before they take off again? Who knows? We do have a lot of expectations this week for Jerome Powell. We've got the Jackson Hole Symposium. Supposedly, this is going to be a big deal for the markets evaluating their feelings on if Jerome Powell is going to U-turn on his strategies. Does he still believe that inflation is going to go down? How does Delta change this? Does he believe now's the time to taper, or is later the time to taper? A lot of things we got to think about. So let's go ahead and hop on over to Wall Street. Let's see here. Let's go Wall Street Journal Central Banks. They can give us a little outline here. So here you go on the calendar. Economic releases today, 7 a.m. Pacific. National Association of Realtors releases existing home sales. We've got, where's Jackson Hole? believe it's Wednesday or Thursday that it begins. Oh, I can't get the full sheet right now. That's okay. Here we go. Okay, I need to log in, so fine, no problem. We'll just go to the regular Wall Street Journal. Okay, here we go. I'm sure we'll talk about it here. Let's see. Jackson Hole. Nope, I guess I can't find it. That's all right. We'll figure it out. Jackson Hole, Jerome Powell. I want to know exactly where it is so we can pinpoint it. All right, here we go. So let's see what we've got here. Bloomberg says Jerome Powell policy revolution was blindsided by was blindsided by COVID-19. This was posted last night. Let's see if we talk about Jackson Hole here. There we go. Jackson Hole. I wish they would just say it somewhere. Jackson Hole, Jerome Powell. Date. Somebody just give me the date. Why is it so hard? All right. Jackson Hole Gathering. There we go. Okay. Friday the 27th at 10 a.m. Washington time via the Kansas City Fed's YouTube channel. The Fed said in a statement Thursday, the topic is the economic outlook. It's going to be big. The event is due to take place on the 26th to 28th in person. So it'll start Thursday and go through Saturday. It'll be virtual, though. I believe they've modified it to be almost all completely virtual. Yeah, there we go. Virtually. We'll deliver remarks virtually. So that'll be interesting. It's also interesting that it's Friday because it's going to be the entire week. I feel like is going to be the financial news focused on what's Jerome going to do, what are we going to do in different scenarios, which is sort of interesting that everything's relatively up right now. You've got Dow futures up almost 0.5%, S&P up 1/3% approximately, Nasdaq just a little under 1/3%. Got oil up 3.7%, 10-year sitting at 1.26%. Which, remember, you've got Michael Burry really shorting bond prices, which means Michael Burry makes money when we see this button over here, green. And what he's doing is he's shorting that 20-year iShares ETF. All right, so let's see here. The world's second largest stablecoin is undergoing a massive change. And some crypto talk. We might catch up about this. We've got Lyft Uber stock fall after court says gig work push is unconstitutional. Yeah. This is so silly. They should really just allow employees to decide what they want to be. Do you want to be an independent contractor or a W-2 worker? But yeah, look at that. Right as soon as the pre-market opened up, you could see rotation to the downside here in the pricing for Lyft. All right, we have, so Lyft was down about 3.3, and it looks like Uber's down about 2.6, so not as much. All right, let's see here. Walgreens 1.1. How's Walgreens been doing over time here? Let's look at this day chart wise. Yeah, pretty much trading sideways here. We had a nice move since November. You could really almost buy any recovery stock since November. Nice run to the upside. But yeah, Walgreens a little suffering here starting really in July, which we've seen a lot of recovery stocks with really the exception of Macy's and Nordstrom's. Okay, let's see what other Bloomberg news we have here. We have about 4 minutes to the opening bell. All right. Time frame, by the way, for the Afghanistan withdrawal could potentially be a catalyst for markets. We've got an August 31st deadline. Taliban has already warned that there will be consequences if the United States does not evacuate on time by the 31st. Biden has suggested that if he needs more time, he'll work with the Taliban. So we'll see what happens there. All right, let's see here. Stock futures, dollars dip with treasury markets. All right, let's see what we have. Yes, we got the terminal up. We'll take a peek at it in a moment. All right. Let's see here. Ahead of last week's sell-off. Okay. We know futures are up. We saw treasury yields. We know. All right. The dip buying. The dip buying. Here we go. Suggests investors have faith in central banks to maintain stimulus amid lingering risks to the economy. Euro area purchasing managers index on Monday signaled a strong recovery, though factories continue to struggle with supply bottlenecks and rising input costs. while the virus resurgence cast a pall on. Ooh, I haven't heard this one before. Pall on the outlook. Well, let's look it up. Who's Paul? Paul. Okay, that's an interesting one. Let's try this. A cloth spread over a coffin. Oh, a dark cloud of covering smoke. Very interesting. It's not one I've heard of before, but that's very visual for the market. We do not expect much breaking news to come from Jackson Hole, but rather some form of relief that the policy course remains lower for longer. There appears to be a growing consensus that the Fed will tread very cautiously in this regard, especially since Jerome Powell said he was open to waiting before the taper. Okay. So really what's worth doing now is sort of exploring and seeing why we've got or which stocks that we've been following are down the most. I absolutely think that's an opportunity. So make my little list, my little Christmas wish list. But anyway, look at ADA in the meantime here. 2.82%. Really an incredible move in ADA or Cardano. Okay, let's see here. Let's do this. Do keep in mind that you can get a free stock worth up to $70 with Public by going to metkevin.com/public. metkevin.com/public to get a free stock worth all the way up to $70. Totally for free as well. Again, metkevin.com/public. And we've got, you could use coupon code Jack's birthday for 40% off. The program's link down below. And that does expire August 31st. So I will link that down below. Right, there we go. Okay, so we do have the opening bell in about 30 seconds. And right now we've got California or CNBC talking about this Prop 22 unconstitutionality, which is a case in California where a California court has decided it might be unconstitutional for California to allow gig workers to remain gig workers. Again, I think it's utterly ridiculous. I think the individual employees should be able to decide if they want to be 1099 or employees W-2.
Now it's not missing. Yeah, not missing.
Individual workers.
Yeah, well, David, this is a big deal.
Yeah, here we go. Looks like it's going to be pretty green.
Let's get to the opening bell. CNBC Real-Time Exchange. At the big board, it is Kensington Capital Acquisition Corp. Five celebrating its listing.
Wow, look at that.
New York, a nonprofit that promotes cycling.
Wow.
Nonprofits.
That's about 90% green. That's pretty incredible. That is very, very, very green. Cardano just absolutely exploding here. I mean, we're almost a triple at the dips where we were buying. Bought both the dollar dip over here and sent alerts for this dip, stocks, psychology, money, and over here. Super exciting. But let's go ahead and let's look at some things that have been burned a little bit. So let's see here. Enphase sitting at let's see here. Enphase sitting at 168. We've got, let's go Canadian Solar. Let's see here. Canadian Solar's at a nice low right now. CSIQ. Very nice position right here. Good low. Still like the position of Redfin. Redfin sitting at 48.30. Redfin. Then we have, let's see, what else is in pain? DraftKings kind of been trading sideways. Not exactly at a particular bottom right now. Let's check out the other solar companies here quickly. Got Sunrun is at 42, not quite. You've got Sun Power. This was pretty low, but it's also been sort of scraping along the bottom over here. So Sun Power a little closer. Let's try Solar Edge. Solar Edge in competition with Enphase. Got dropped by Tesla. Speaking of Tesla, we got to take a look at Tesla too. Solar Edge still doing very well despite getting punted by Tesla. Tesla. We've got Tesla sitting at 683, up about 1/3% today. There you go. Pinterest is another one that's just been pained in this market. Yeah, look at pins. I mean, pins just, oopsies. Having a little ouchy there in terms of its stock pricing. So we also have, Build-A-Bear's mostly been holding up after the incredible momentum run that it had here. You could really see that sort of momentum bleed out. It's a much slower bleed out than you often see, though. So very incredible there. Just really kind of shows it was sort of a forgotten stock more than anything. Nvidia continues its run. Phenomenal. Now at almost up 3% on the day, 2.8% here. Incredible. Archimoto sitting at 1073. You can see it is in a pretty low channel at the moment at 1073. Pretty low, not as low as what we've seen before, 732 here in just May. Let's see. We've got JetBlue Airlines sitting all the way down at 1450. Nowhere near that bottom of that 661 we had in March of last year, but certainly back to pricing that we saw somewhere around December and early January. Same thing at Spirit Airlines, December, early January pricing. So you've kind of given up the whole year worth of pricing. Carnival Cruise Lines, 2242. Market's trying to figure out exactly how to price these. Were the recovery stocks just too pricey when they exploded here, or were they oversold at the moment? Big questions. Lemonade's another one, 70.85, also sitting at a bottom. All right, that one down. LMND. There we go. All right, what else is that? Rougher pricing. I'm always looking for things that are sitting at rougher pricing right now. Robinhood, I mean, kind of have that momentum movement here, right? I talk about this short squeeze of shorts that were started off. That just evaporated, that kind of talk. It's another good one. Let's see here. Beachbody is one. You've got... but then I am also very cautious of SPACs right now because of the way the market is. Still interested in SoFi, but I'd probably sell puts mostly on SPACs at the moment. Walgreens, Lucid, let's see, Shift Technologies. That's another one. Dave & Buster's. Yeah, Dave & Buster's also having its bleed out to what, December pricing again? Yeah, January pricing. Okay, close. Home Depot, just an incredible stock with such an incredible run that we've had here. These strong retail performers kicking butt. Apple had its move up to about 150, but we haven't seen much activity from Apple since then. It's almost like they adjusted up and then they're like, all right, now we're good. How is our market moving though intraday here? Let's see what trend we're getting. This is interesting. It's almost like you had some stocks start a little higher and then begin to start rotating down here as the market is opening. Let's look at the indices here to see if there's a broader shift. Okay, let's see here. So no, Dow's still sitting at 0.63% up. S&P is actually that's more up than it was. Nasdaq's more up than it was. Russell 2000's more than it was. S&P more than it was. So the market's definitely moving up. Just maybe some individual stocks here rotating to the downside. Taking a look at big winners right now, we got another 10% move here on Hut 8 Mining. Hut 8 Mining really moving faster than crypto pricing itself. And today really being one of those breakout days. Miners just doing great here. Let's look at BTC USD. BTC, nice run here at almost $50,300 now. Mostly trading sideways at the moment, waiting for some bigger injections. But boy, oh boy, the crypto stock market here is performing nicely. So XL Fleet, Tattooed Shaft, Square. You've got, Mind Medicine was up, interestingly, in the pre-market, substantially more than it is now. I think somebody just came in and wanted to go buy some shares, and paid some big fat premiums for it in the pre-market. Although Mind Medicine moving nicely at the moment, 2.68%. Oh, look at this. FDA grants full approval to Pfizer. There you go. We were expecting this.
First license
Talked about this weekend.
for the coronavirus officially, which is almost a year and a half old.
Well, they only have to give it to 4 billion people before it's okayed. Not bad.
Look at that. It's almost like it was priced in. Unless we're just now getting this green candlestick, it's almost like this was priced in. We're not seeing much movement here. Although we see a little bit of green coming into the recovery stocks here. Let's see what happens. This is like wind, for example.
As well, getting full approval.
A few more weeks. I think that's what Gottlieb was suggesting as well earlier this morning.
Moderna shares are up almost 4%. We talked a lot about that stock, of course, because of its incredible
Best performer
move at a $160+ billion market value.
Let's go back to the mega cap story. I mean, you see these mega caps, and whether it be Apple with its service revenue, and I was doing some work today because I've got, I have the Aurora on tonight.
Okay, I'm going to pull off Jim's story. Sorry. So, I'm curious to see if we're going to see a movement in recovery stocks, though. I mean, Nordstrom's been doing very well at the moment. We've got, let's see here, Wynn Resorts. I mean, we've had a couple green candlesticks since this was announced here. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. Yesterday, it looks like 7 Afghan citizens died outside the Kabul airport. And now there's a report that a member of the Afghan security forces is reportedly killed. Jeez, what a mess. Unidentified attack. But yeah, okay. Pfizer's FDA approval. That's official. Lots of news breaking on that right now. See a lot of headlines coming through. Curious to see how that's going to affect the recovery stocks. Obviously, we were expecting them to perform well. We do see a green shift right now, but I'm not sure that we have. I mean, this could have been the volume that we saw here. This all of a sudden volume here onto things like Spirit Airlines. We've got. Let's see what else is moving. Is American moving? Yeah, yep. American's got a nice move to the upside on this news. We would expect to see some sort of move to the upside. This is very good news for recovery stocks. Carnival, yeah, they're all moving nicely. Makes you almost wonder if that's the beginning of sort of almost what we saw at the end of 2020, where we got that vaccine efficacy data in that 90% range, 90 to 95% range, and the markets just freaked out and loved it, ate it up for the next 6 months. So it does make you wonder: is this that big? Was this a buy to dip opportunity? Are we still close enough to buy the dip? Let's see. We've got Piton actually. Make sort of not really clear here, but Piton, Etsy, these guys down about 0.5%. Uber, Lyft, Rocket sitting at 1750. Boy, oh boy, Rocket's just been getting wrecked. Arrival sitting at $10. Not super exciting. All right, looking more broadly here, does look like still the crypto moves are the biggest, followed by those 3.5% to 4% gains in our specifically our travel sector, airlines, hotels. Not much of a big move though. Fisker, let's see, Moderna, Boeing. Microchina. How's Cheesecake doing? Let's take a peek. All right, let's see what we got over here. Cheesecake doing very well, up 2.46 today. Cheesecake has sort of also bottomed here within the last couple trading days. And this bottom is really similar to pricing we had around the beginning of February. So really a big transition in some of the pricing that we've seen. Fastly. Look at this one, for example, too. Worth noting. We are trading at June of 2020, less than June of 2020 pricing, May of 2020 pricing on Fastly. Like you were substantially down year over year on Fastly right now. It's incredible. Palantir. Oh yeah, let's take a look at Palantir, especially with the Afghan crisis. So Palantir right now sitting at 24.19, but boy oh boy, after its direct listing, there's been some incredible hype and momentum around it, and unfortunately, it's just been a sideways trader here. Very, very sideways trader. Yeah, that's worth writing down. All right. Okay. MRIN rotating down 4.5%. This tends to be a pretty momentum-based stock. Interesting how Roblox, Etsy, Peloton, some of the more stay-at-home stocks, DoorDash, this is very classic sort of anti-recovery, or I should say actually recovery, selling off on these particular stocks. Very interesting. Hut 8 mining, not as high as it was. Canoe running, though. 11.34% there at Canoe. Almost like Canoe bottoming out a little bit over here. Buy the dip happening over at Canoe. Looks like people are looking for those buy the dip opportunities again. Script flips fast. Spirit Airlines now up almost 5% on this news. Yeah, look at that. We are seeing just a rally right now on airlines. Nordstrom, American, these guys all up about 4% now. So they've extended their gains. Cruise lines pushing up a little bit. This is what we expected, is to see some sort of catalyst that would come out of the Pfizer vaccine. Wasn't clear how much of the upside for recovery was potentially priced in, but we are seeing a nice movement to the upside. Let's look at Carnival, for example. There we go. Carnival went up a bit, just starting to rotate a bit. Back down, went up about 3.3%. Same thing with Norwegian Cruise Line. A little buying pressure relaxing a little bit. Spirit Airlines, still running, but also that momentum slowing down a bit. China is starting with Taiwan. I don't recommend Chinese stocks. Yeah. Going to take some profits on crypto, says someone here. Gains on Tattooed. Yeah, good for it. You know, it tends, remember, it's a lot of these stocks have their sort of rubber band patterns, and Tattooed likes to go back to 20. Something to keep in mind. You go to 16, you go back to 20. You go to 16, you go back to 20. See that pretty regularly. It's kind of like what's it called? Wayfair. Thing went down to like 230, 240. Always goes back to 300. Always seems to go back to 300. It's at 282 right now. Yeah, crazy. All right, what else do we have? How did Disney respond to this Vax news? Not much at all. It almost makes you wonder if Disney is a little bit more of a Netflix style play now than it actually is trading as a recovery stock. That the recovery aspects have almost just been priced out on it, or like fully baked in, right? So, all right, let's see what we got in terms of other headlines. So obviously Pfizer, big deal. We were expecting this. All right, so Jerome Powell, Revolution was blindside. Okay, let's see. Bitcoin topping 50K. Stirs forecast of run towards record growth. Yes. Stocks rebound. This is interesting. The vaccinated are worried, and scientists don't have answers. Let's see how COVID cases were. Usually we get better readings tomorrow. The last 2 days would generally be low, but I have not actually checked. Hold on a sec. Is this the real estate? No, not yet. I don't think we have real estate data yet.
August preliminary read on market, MARKIT, manufacturing PMI, service PMI, and composites. 62.0 is what we're looking for on the manufacturing. A little bit light at 61.2. And last month at 63.4 still represents the post-COVID high. Now, services, much weaker than expected. 55.2, That is the
Wow.
lowest level since September.
That's actually really interesting. A big miss here on services is potentially a sign that maybe we won't see that service-based inflation. Maybe does that mean it's the beginning of that that euphoric rally in September that everyone is waiting for? September to October inflation data comes out between October and November. And then the question is, will it start getting priced in September? Take a look at COVID cases. We generally have these lull periods here. Let's go last 30 days. Generally always have two lull periods. First day is a little bit higher than the second. A little more of an extreme here. Second day was 40,000. First day was 79,000. Tomorrow will be a little bit of a tell. We're going to see a new spike beyond what we saw on August 16th. Delta could always make markets nervous. We still have a nice movement here to the upside on a lot of particular companies here. Tattooed Chef now up about 6.35%. Mind Medicine making a nice move to the upside. Let's see here. Okay. Of course, our crypto stocks up. CRISPR is actually interesting up a bit. Spirit Air. Nice. I mean, we're on some of the recovery stocks now, more like 4 to 5.5% up, rather than that 2.5 to 3% that we saw before that Pfizer approval came in. Canadian Solar, nice move up to the upside. Almost everything. A nice flow of money back into the market here this week. Very nice. Enphase, Coinbase, Upwork, TDoc, AMC. AMC sitting up a couple percent. Okay, so floating around in these mid-30s here. NEO's up a couple percent again. NEO's another one at 37, a little on the low side. NEO. Yeah, a little Tesla. How is Tesla? Tesla sitting at what is it? 692. It's up almost a couple percent. Bitcoin suffering a bit. 1380. Let's go ahead and look at some other headlines. All right, so what do we have here? This is the vaccinated are worried and scientists don't have the answers. Let's see your anecdotes tell us what data can. Vaccinated people appear to be getting the coronavirus at a surprisingly high rate, but exactly how often isn't clear, nor is it certain how likely they are to spread the virus to others. Though it is evident vaccination still provides powerful protection against the virus, there's growing concern that vaccinated people may become more vulnerable to serious illness than previously thought. Yeah, you hear about Jesse Jackson, for example. There's a dearth of scientific studies with concrete answers, leaving public policymakers and corporate executives to formulate plans based on only fragmented information. Big lack of information. It's true. Well, especially with Delta. Yeah, that's a big deal. While some are renewing mask mandates or delaying office reopenings, others cite the lack of clarity to justify staying the course. It could all feel like a mess. Yeah, no kidding. We have to be humble about what we do know and what we don't know. Former director of the CDC. There are a few things we could say definitely. One is that this is a hard question to address. Well, yeah, we know that. Absent clear public health messaging, vaccinated people are left confused on how to protect themselves. Just how vulnerable they are is key, not just for public health, but when booster shots may be needed. Lots of education, yeah. In lieu of answers, what has emerged is a host of case studies providing somewhat different pictures on breakthrough infections. Also true. Yeah, it's difficult to know which data might ultimately carry more heft. It's quite clear that we have more breakthroughs now. We all know someone who has had one. We don't have great clinical data. The breakout infections are through vaccines, the big question right now. And it also raises the question of like, how could vaccine mandates be necessary if they don't spread reduce spread? Then, of course, there's the argument that, well, it helps reduce hospitalizations. Yes, okay, fair. But at what point does that give the power to the government to authorize vaccine mandates? Makes you wonder now if this Pfizer thing and the approval of Pfizer, FDA full approval, is going to open up some doors. We'll see. All right, so let's go back into Webull here. Go to watch list. Yeah, good moves though here across the board. Just a nice rally here, really. Archimoto 6%, Tattooed Chef 7%. Strong day here. Mind Medicine 4.8. Big digital assets. How are they doing? 1.1%. I'm sorry, 1.1 is the price up 4.6. Nice. Spirit Air kind of starting to slow down a little bit on that run. It's kind of like you had your excitement priced in a bit. EXPI 4.5. Win coming back 3.9. You got a nice run here after that vaccine approval. That came out right around here. Is where that vaccine approval came in. So you do see that nice run in recoveries right now, which we were expecting the Pfizer approval this week. On the downside, again, stay at home. Peloton, Etsy, interesting. Walmart even as well. Roblox, Target. Not much red. Not much red at all. PBYA. I don't even know that. PBYA. What is that? Yeah, I just don't know much about this. What is this? I mean, this is like a super penny stock. So, yeah, I mean, no idea. Super penny stock. See, because like a $5 stock could be a penny stock. But when it's actually a penny stock, it's like, oh, it's actually in the pennies. So, yep. All right. A lot of uncertainty still present, but obviously the stock market's still excited about the future of the market. Not getting too excited here, despite Burry's big shorts. All right, big shorts. Oh, Michael. I wonder how his 20-year iShares 20-year ETF Treasury. Let's see what we got here. TLT. Let's see how his so he shorts this. And wish we could get like a chart on it. Be nice if we could get a chart. That doesn't matter so much. Can I just pull up TLT? Oh yeah, I can. How convenient. There you go. Yeah. Not a very exciting move today. Just kind of vacillating. So that's no fun. All right, let's see what Jim says for a second. Let's see here.
Sometimes, as you point out, the premiums in these kinds of deals are enormous because it's sort of, if you win, it's off the charts.
Incredible.
And if you lose,
Glaxo's
Smile Direct,
billion there, but for Pfizer.
But I do think that we have to pay close attention to stocks that are oncological that have been all the way down and that are about to start trials, which was this one.
Guys, in the brief time we have, just to take a look at some of the Chinese stocks, because we have mentioned, of course, Alibaba's weakness a bit.
Take a look at this. I'm going to pull off here. They're talking about the Chinese stocks. Take a look at Smile Direct. Smile Direct almost selling for at 460. The price it was selling for in during the March and April lows of 2020. That's incredible. That's just incredible. That's worth keeping an eye on. Yeah, that's incredible. So what else do we have? Gevo, Spirit, Dave & Buster's. Okay, so we've kind of identified some that are still at pretty low levels here. A little early on Plug Power, but it does make you wonder if it's going to bounce here after 25. We did go down to about 19 there in May. NVIDIA, Quantum Psi, ChargePoint. I wonder how the chargers are doing. Oops. That's Lordstown going into penny stock territory and bankruptcy territory. Yeah, ChargePoint has really been bouncing along this line as well here. It's a pretty strong line. We've seen a little bit of a slowdown on people's excitement over chargers. And what else do we have here? GameStop, we've talked about. Salesforce has been climbing really over the last 2 months here. Nice soft little climb on Salesforce. Upwork. How's Upwork doing? Upwork, Dropbox. Oh, let's see here. Let's go look at their chart. Upwork is almost down to those May lows, kind of also just trying to bounce off of them at 42.53. How about Upstart? That's the one that's had massive momentum here lately. Yeah, it's up 3% at 201. Nice. Sonos, PayPal, Chipotle. All right, let's see. Alphabet. Walgreens. Oh, Pinterest went green. Yeah, I feel like we kind of really wrote down almost all of those that were a little pained. Canadian Solar, Redfin, SunPower, Pins, Lemonade, Win, Palantir, Mind Medicine, Neo, Tesla, Smile Direct, ChargePoint. Sort of your pained market still. Chart-wise, that are still showing some suffering, which really, energy sector, the iBuyer sector and real estate, and of course seeing that recovery now finally in some of the recovery stocks as we do come off of Pfizer approval. It'll be interesting to see how long this sort of rally lasts. We did a little bit of a slowdown here. All right, will the Tesla robot be fine not wearing masks? Oh my gosh. Yeah, perhaps the Moderna is not effective as they thought in the lab. Unfortunate. Its initial efficacy numbers were wonderful. We do expect efficacy to be very strong initially when you first get the shot. It just seems to subside over time. Like Jesse Jackson, I think he got his in like January, and he had not got a booster yet. Now he's in the hospital after being, or despite being vaccinated, I should say. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at some headlines to see if we've got other headlines. We've kind of scrubbed through stocks that we've been watching. Oil jumps with stocks after losing their worst losing streak since 2018. Jerome Powell. Let's see. Okay, suggestions that Jerome Powell is going to hint the taper. All right. Yeah, no real incredible other exciting headlines here. Looks like the big one right now is obviously the vax approval, which we did expect that to be a bit of a catalyst. I do wonder how crypto is reacting to this, if at all. BTC was sitting sideways just to try to gauge a little bit what the market's thinking. I'm going to go to 1 minute. 1 minute and look for around 637. No, not much. 637 right here, had a little bit of a push, but then you started this downtrend, which is really interesting. So it's like, what? You get FDA approval, and then you start seeing crypto slip a tiny little bit. 7 o'clock, so this must be the real estate data. It is
2% to a seasonally adjusted annualized rate of 5.99 million units. That's a beat. The street was actually looking for a slight decline to 5.83 million, and June's numbers were revised up slightly, still up 1.5% year over year. Very small gain, but remember, the comps are getting more difficult because last summer was the big spike in home sales. These are based on closings, so contracts signed in May and June. Sales doing better because inventory is rising. 1.32 million units, up 7% month to month, still down 12% year over year. But that, again, is a smaller decline than we've seen in recent months. Still at a 2.6 month supply of homes for sale. A 6 month supply is considered a balanced market between buyers and sellers.
This is really interesting. Someone says, and obviously right now this is a commenter, but it's interesting. They say, I'm a doctor. Pfizer's vaccine uses 1 part of the protein, whereas Moderna uses 6 parts. So Pfizer's efficacy drops after 3 months, whereas Moderna's sustains for 8 months. That's very interesting. Thank you.
Sales of homes priced $750 to $1 million, up 55%. $1 million plus homes, up 59%. So again, the second straight month of sales gains, but most of it's happening on the higher end of the market. Leslie?
Woo, huge discrepancy there, Diana. Thank you. We're 30 minutes into the trading session. Here are the three big movers we are watching, starting with Robinhood, as a handful of investment firms added the company to their coverage lists. Goldman, JP Morgan, and Barclays slapping either a neutral or a sell rating. Investors don't seem to care. Shares up 2.8% today. Plus, Uber shares coming off its lows as a California judge ruled the state's gig workers law unconstitutional. The decision also taking down shares of DoorDash and Lyft. You can see Uber shares down about 0.4% right now. And Boeing getting a boost, announcing it will invest in Sir Richard Branson's Virgin Orbit as part of a planned SPAC listing for the satellite launch company. Later this hour, we'll speak exclusively with Sir Richard Branson and Virgin Orbit CEO Dan Hart. Carl.
All right.
Okay, we can pull off this here. Worth mentioning that you can take advantage of that 40% off coupon code link down below. Jack's birthday expires August 31st. Jack turns a whole 6. And, of course, get that free stock with Public. They don't buy or sell your data, and you can get a free stock worth all the way up to $70 totally for free just for signing up. Somebody mentioned they got a fractional share of Tesla. It's a fractional share of Apple the other day. So, super cool. All right, so... yeah, stay at home getting a little beat up right now. Bitcoin slowed a tiny bit after this approval. Domino's, Pinterest, mostly flat. We're still seeing this nice movement here, though. Oh, Canoe. Wow, Canoe up 14%. Tattooed Chef up 7.5%. Good positive day here. Mind Medicine 5.7. Build-A-Bear, Dave & Buster's, nice moves to the upside. Yeah. Let's go back to Wall Street Journal and see what we got in terms of headlines. Chevron requires some employees to receive vaccinations. Stocks edge up ahead of economic data. Crypto surge leaves global watchdogs trying to catch up. Yeah, we know that. New appetite for mortgage bonds that sidestepped Fannie and Freddie. Interesting. Wind turbine makers struggle to profit from renewables boom thanks to rising raw materials costs and unpredictable subsidies. Yikes. Makes you wonder if that's like a buy the dip opportunity. Let's see here. GE and who was the other company? It was like Ventos or something. Yeah, or Vestas. Vestas. Where do they trade? Is that a European company? Or are they just not public? Vestas. Vestas Wind. Oh, it's on the OTC. Okay. Over-the-counter stock. Trade test one is still up. The thing just never stops running. It's incredible. Time to buy the Matterport dip. No kidding, right? Yeah, Matterport's great, but sitting around that 13.5 figure. All right. Well, that about we've pretty much about covered our market open. So I'm going to head on over to the course member live stream in a few minutes here. And hey, thank you so much for watching this. Get your free stock with Public. Check out the courses link down below. And folks, see you in the next one. Let's go see if what we want to do with the course members today. All right, see you in a little bit. Thanks, folks. Bye.